Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 13, Quadratic Equations, Exercise 13g. So let's see what are the main objectives for this exercise. To know what is the standard form of a quadratic equation, and then how can we solve that quadratic equation. When we say how can we solve that quadratic equation, that means how can we find the value of the variable involved in that quadratic equation, right? We can use AC method to factorize it. So all of you know about the AC method. We used it in chapter 12. Okay, now look at this. First of all, let's discuss what is the standard form of a quadratic equation. If you remember that when we were doing chapter 12, I told you that ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the standard form of a quadratic expression. Like the first term should be a square term of the variable, the next one should be x term, or you can say 1 power of the variable, and then we have a constant, right? This is the standard form of a quadratic expression. So all this has to be on one side of the equation, let's say on left side of the equation, and on the other side of the equation you must have 0, right? So this becomes the standard form of a quadratic equation, right? Like the whole quadratic expression should be on one side, and on the other side it will be 0. Now how can we solve a quadratic equation by factorizing, right? How can we factorize it? So it means that first of all we have to see what is the expression given. We will factorize it. As you can see here, this is the expression. They said solve. When they say solve, it means that you have to find that what is the possible value of this variable x in this equation. Okay, now we will use factorization method, and to factorize it I will use AC method. Now what is the AC method? I will put 1 over here and I will multiply that 1 with this positive 15. So I will have positive 15. So this positive sign, it says add your pair of factors that you will make over here. So 1 times 15, if I add it, it is giving me 16. I don't need it because I'm looking for this b, right? This is the midterm is called, like you can say it's b, right? Okay, so after that 3 times 5 is 15, and if I add it, it is giving me 8. Fine, perfect. So how I will use this 3 and 5 to write the factors? I will write the variable that is x, and then I will write 3 and 5, and which signs will go with 3 and 5? Same signs will go with 3 and 5. But with same signs, positive or negative. So this middle sign will decide. So middle sign is negative. That means both of them will get the negative sign. This 5 and 3 will get the negative signs, and both of them are going to be same signs. After that, when I'm done with all this, as you can see here, I'm getting 3x minus 3 into x minus 5 equals 0. How two factors can become equal to 0? For example, let me give you an example. For example, if I have a times b equals 0, this shows that how this multiplication, how this product is 0. Maybe a was 0, so when I multiplied a with the b, it makes it 0. Or maybe b was 0, so when you multiplied a with the 0, it gave you 0. Right? So we don't know, either a is 0 or maybe b is 0, or maybe both of them are 0. So we have no idea that which one of these is 0. So what can we consider? We can say that either the first factor is 0 or the second factor is 0. That is making this whole expression equal to 0. So I will say either x minus 3 is 0 or the other factor x minus 5 is 0. So if I solve it, I will move this 3 to the other side. So it will become 0 plus 3. That will give me x equals 3. On the other side, for this factor, if I will say x minus 5 is 0, then I will move this 5 to the other side. It is giving me 5, x equals 5. So these are the two possible values of x that can make this equation true. Let's say if you want to check your answer, how can you check your answer? X squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. Now replace x by 3 first of all. So it will become 3 squared minus 8 times 3 plus 15. We have to check, is it giving us 0? 3 times 3 is 9 minus 8 times 3 is 24 plus 15 If I solve all these together, it is giving me 0. This shows that left hand side and the right hand side both are zeros. So that's why x equals 3 is the correct value. Now you can check for 5. You can replace this x by 5. So 5 squared will make here 25 and 8 times 5 will be 40. So clearly you can see that 25 minus 40 will be negative 15. Negative 15 plus positive 15 will be 0. So again the left hand side is becoming 0 and the right hand side is also 0. This shows that both these answers are correct. So it's your choice. If you want to check it, you can check your answers. Now we have in this exercise, we have a little bit different case. What is it? As you can see here, they are saying sometimes a quadratic equation has two answers or roots that are exactly the same. So sometimes you will find these cases that after solving, after factorizing, you are getting two exactly identical factors, x minus 2 and x minus 2 in this example, and here x plus 3 and x plus 3, right? So what can we say? We will say either x minus 2 is 0 or x minus 2 is 0. In both cases, I am getting x equals 2, and in this case I am getting x equals negative 3. Okay, what can we say? Okay, sometimes a quadratic equation has two answers or roots. Roots is also a word that is used for the answers. So you can say here there are two possible roots for x. There are two possible answers for x. If the answers are exactly the same, or you can say the two answers or the roots are equal, we say that such an equation has a repeated root, repeated answer. So usually in your book, what they have done, they have written it with, if you are getting two similar answers, so they have written over here with the answer twice. Okay, so this is like this exercise, all the questions are of this type. Let's start now. This is question number 3. So first of all, to solve this equation, I will factorize it. To solve, first of all, I will check, is it in the standard form? Yes, it's in the standard form. Then second thing that I have to use, I want to factorize it. How can I factorize it? By using AC method. So I will use the AC method to factorize it. I will put 1 over here, then I will multiply that 1 with this 10, so it will give me positive 100. Now I told you on the previous slide that positive means that you have to put same sign, so 1 times 100 or 10 times 100, right? It is giving us 20. So this is the pair that we need. Now how we will write our answer? We will say x minus 10 and x minus 10. Why both of them are negative? Because here the middle term sign is negative and it goes with them, and it says we have to put the same signs with both of them. So both of them are going to be negative. On the other side we have 0, right? Now what we can say, either the first factor, let me write it with the red color. So either x minus 10 is 0, or let me write the other one with the blue, x minus 10 is 0. Means this one, either this one is 0 or the other one is 0, right? So in both cases, what will you get? You will get over here x equals 0 plus 10, because if you will move this 10 to the other side, it will change into positive. So we are getting x equals 10 from this factor. And here on the other one, x equal, let me write it with the blue. So x equals again 0 plus 10. Let me separate it here. Okay, so you are getting x equals 10. So we got two similar answers. Now how we will write our final answer? We will say x equals 10, means the root is 10 and it's twice. Okay, if you will get the same answer, you can write with it twice. So this is how you will solve it. This is the solution set, or you can say this is the final value of x, and if you want to check it, you can replace x by this 10, and you will see the left hand side will be 0 and the right hand side will be 0. Now please pause the video here and solve question number 4 on your own. So here is the answer for question number 4. Clearly you can see when I multiplied, I used the AC method to factorize. I multiplied 1 with 16, so it was giving me positive 16. So 4 times 4 is 16, and when I add it, it is giving me 8. right? And then either the first factor is 0. Clearly you can see I highlighted, I did the first part with the red color and I highlighted here with the yellow, right? And then I did this one with the green color. I solved it with blue and I highlighted with green. Okay, so this is your final answer. So this is how you will write the final answer. Clear? Let's solve some more questions, and both these questions, they have exactly the same idea. So better pause the video here, solve both the questions on your own, and then play the video to check your answers. So here are the answers for both the questions. Clearly you can see that we were getting -10 and -10 in both cases because it was 100. So 10 times 10 is 100, and 10 plus 10 is giving us this middle 20. And here 1 times 400 was 400. So if you multiply 20 with the 20, it gives us 40. And here, wait, let me fix it. So because the middle sign here is negative, so that's why it will be x minus 20 and x minus 20, right? Both of them are going to get the same signs. And then we will shift this 20 to the other side. It will change into positive 20. So the final answer will be x equals 20 twice, right? So this is the answer for this question. We have some more cases. Let me explain you how can you solve these questions. Here if you notice that I have 1/4 here, so I like to have a whole number here rather than having a fraction, and same is the case here. So how can we remove this fraction and how can we change this fraction into a whole number? So if you notice that I can write 1/1 here and I can write 1/1 here. If I check all the denominators, they are 1, 1 and 4. So what will be the LCM for 1, 1 and 4? It will be 4. So to remove this 4, I will multiply the whole equation by 4. So how do we multiply the whole equation by 4? I will write 4 over here and then I will start multiplying it. So it will become 4x squared. When I will multiply 4 with x squared, it will become 4x squared, minus I will multiply 4 with this 4x, so it will become 4x plus 4 times 1, it will become 4 out of 4 equals 4 times 0 will be 0. Now 4 divided by 4, because it can be cancelled, so it will give me 1. So finally we will have 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. Now again we have to use the AC method. And how can we use the AC method? We will multiply this 4 with this 1, so it will give us positive 4. Now what are the factors that can give us, what is the pair of the factors that when multiplied it gives us 4 and when added it gives us this 4? So it will be 2 times 2. So how can we write our answer? It will become, if you remember, we did it in this way, 4x minus 2. This positive sign means that I have to put both the similar signs. So it will be negative in both cases. Okay, -2 equals 0. Now both of these factors can be simplified. This can be simplified with 2 and this can also be simplified with 2. So I will get over here 2x minus 1 into 2x minus 1 equals 0, right? So all these things you have done in chapter 12. There's nothing new. Like how to factorize it, you learned it in chapter 12, right? Okay, now I got these two factors. Now how I will find the value? Let me solve it over here for you. So we can say either the first one. What is the first one? The first one is 2x minus 1. So either 2x minus 1 is 0. Now we have two numbers with this x variable. So first this 1 will move to the other side, so it will become positive 1. So 0 plus 1 will be 1, and now I will divide each side by 2. So finally x will be equal to 1/2. So this is the first root or the first answer. Now look at the second, so I'll write it with the blue now. So or again 2x minus 1 is 0. So you will move this 1 to the other side, it will change into positive 1. So 2x will be equal to 0 plus 1 will be 1. And then you will divide each side by 2 and x will be equal to 1/2. So this is the other root. So finally we can say x equals 1/2 twice, right? Okay. You can solve the same this question number 20 in the same way. Now the LCM is 9, because here if I will write 1 over 1, 1, 3 and 9, their LCM it is 9. So you can multiply the whole equation by 9 to remove the denominators, right? And the rest of the steps will be exactly the same. That's all for this video, for this exercise. Hope you understand it.